Welcome back, guys. I'm Zell, and today we're looking at the Mosquito. It's the Zancudo from ESEE. So let's get a look at the ESEE Zancudo. On this side we've got nylon scales, nice black screws for the contrast, all of them Torx of course, and a lanyard hole. So rolled around the back side, we can see it's full flow through. We've got pillars, nothing fancy, but they are nice and they give us that nice flow through design. And on to the other side, we can see some really nice touches. We've got our stainless steel scale here, and on the back side we have matched the screw colors with the scale instead of putting black or silver on both sides. That's kind of a nice touch. And we also have tip up and tip down for our pocket clip. And you might recognize that pocket clip. Looks a whole lot like one of these. And you would think that they wouldn't have copied this pocket clip. The knife community's been trying to get Kershaw to update this thing for a long time. And ESEE comes through and essentially copies it. Only they didn't do a good enough job copying it. If they had done a really good job copying it, you'd be able to pick up one of these from eBay or somewhere and have a nice pocket clip for your Zancudo. But no. The screws are a little bit larger, and I suppose you could, but you'd end up drilling out the titanium, and that might get a little sketchy. So, big thumbs down on the pocket clip. They could have done way better. And this is going to become a theme through the current ESEE folding knives. But with that aside, the fit and finish of this ESEE Zancudo is just as good as the Rat series of knives, and swings way above its price tag at around $25-30. When we open this guy up, we've got just under a 3-inch blade and just under 2.7 inches of cutting edge, and it's similar to a Rat blade profile. And I go back and forth. I'm not sure if I like this blade profile or the Rat profile better. This one seems to work really well, but I've used Rats for a long time and they seem to work well also. But they are different. I don't have a Rat 2, but I do have a Rat 1. And as you can see, the two blade profiles are fairly close. The cutting edge anyhow is fairly close. The spine here on the Rat goes straight across with a slight drop, gives you your drop point. You got more drop here, giving us kind of a spear point affair. Really, I think either one does a great job. Back to the Zancudo. We are full flat ground, nicely stone washed, and they've done a really good job of getting all of this laser etching, or however they put it on there. It looks really good. However, they did all that once again to an AUS 8 blade, and I get it. The knife is $32 or less, and almost any place you get it, the build quality swings way above that. And a few weeks ago, I would have said, great, this is awesome. We just have to deal with the AUS 8 and sharpening it more often. But back to that Rat Model 1. Look right here. This Rat Model 1 has D2 tool steel, which is way better than the AUS 8 in this knife, as long as corrosion resistance isn't a huge deal. D2 will corrode rust a little faster than AUS 8, but it holds an edge a ridiculous amount of time longer. And this Rat 1 with D2 was only $32. I bought it from knifeworks.com. So Ontario has made AUS 8 and these knives obsolete. Unless you have a specific use case for the AUS 8, such as you are going outdoors and you do need a steel that can be sharpened on something simple. And getting a close look at the little spear point blade, one nice thing they have done, look back here at this sharpening choil. They've done that well. It's not perfect, but it's pretty darn good. It gets the start of your edge up there just almost to the end of the plunge grind, which is much better than most knife companies do, even the ones where you're spending several hundred or even thousands of bucks on the knife. And as you can see here, this knife has not hit the KME sharpener. It has been sharpened and used regularly over the last few days using Spyderco's Sharp Maker. And here's what I found out about the steel. The AUS-8 that they're using, and there's our little mosquito, our Zancudo. The AUS-8 is still soft. I've been putting down flooring. It's a plank type flooring, and you have to score it to shear off the excess flooring or excess part of the plank. And this made probably, I don't know, 50 or so cuts a day. While I was doing that, maybe more, I don't know. I didn't really count, but at the end of the day, this thing needed to go back on the sharpener. You couldn't just strop it. You needed to sharpen it. So, but it was just the fine rods on the Sharp Maker, so, you know, it does okay. It's just something to be aware of with AUS-8. One last thing to look at is, if we can get the camera up there, see, ESEE did not skeletonize this liner, and that bothers me. Reason number one, the liner is not skeletonized, so it's a full-strength stainless liner in there. They could have drilled for left-hand tip-up and tip-down carry. You know, they did it on the Avispa, so why not here as well? If you're not going to drill it for left-hand carry, why would you not skeletonize the heck out of that? I mean, I really don't understand that decision. But, you know, it is what it is, I suppose. And we should probably do a little comparison here. We've seen the Rat 1 out here with it. So, our ESEE Zancudo, our Rat 1, and ESEE Avispa, our Spyderco Delica, and a Benchmade Griptilian. So the Zancudo is really about the size of your Spyderco Delica. The one advantage you get here is the Zancudo doesn't have the hump for the Spidey hole. So it is a little bit shorter in the pocket. And for some of us, that's important. So there you have it, guys. The ESEE Zancudo. My opinions, you know, what do you guys think? Let me know in the comments. My opinion on this thing is it's not a home run. This thing's more like a triple. It's very nice. The action, very good. Fit and finish, way above its price tag. The little details, like putting the black screws in on the orange side and putting the regular stainless screws in on the stainless side. Those are little details that most knife companies would overlook. So, fit and finish wise, they've done a great thing. Pocket clip. I mean, it works fine. Don't get me wrong, it works fine, but we have been trying to get Kershaw to change this pocket clip out on the Leak and other models in their line for a long time. Why in the world do we have it on a fairly new model? And then, why does it not interchange with those Kershaw Leak pocket clips? Why is it drilled slightly differently so we can't pick up a titanium clip off eBay for a Kershaw Leak and stick it on here so we've got actual deep carry and all that? Baffles me. It's just, I don't understand. But overall, it's a very good knife. Now, since Ontario Knife Company is starting to do some things, we do have to talk about the AUS-8 steel. AUS-8 is a wonderful steel for a couple of different circumstances. If you are new to knife sharpening, AUS-8 is wonderful. If you're starting knife sharpening, get yourself some rats, get yourself some Zancudos and Avispas, and learn how to sharpen with this stuff. It's nice to sharpen. It's not hard to sharpen, but it does come up to a very, very nice edge. The other situation where the AUS-8 could come in pretty darn handy is if you're on a backpacking trip and you know that you're going to be abusing your knives. And by abusing them, I mean using them hard. In that case, the AUS-8 is a steel that you can sharpen on just about anything abrasive, which makes it really, really good for those situations. Where if you had M390 or even, the D2 or any of those higher end steels, S30V and whatnot, if you dulled or chipped up your knife, it would be very hard to sharpen that knife in the field. Or you would have to have the proper equipment to sharpen that knife in the field. That's one place where AUS-8 really does stand out. It does a fair job of holding an edge, and it's easy to sharpen. But for the EDC market, AUS-8 is becoming old hat. It's becoming a steel that we're just not going to tip our hat to anymore, because Ontario is going to move on to D2, and that's going to cause a major shakeup in the budget knife steels, because the 8CR13 MOV and whatnot that other companies have been using, it's not going to be as generally accepted if I can go get a Rat 1 or a Rat 2 in D2 steel. So anyhow, that's something to think about. But overall, the ESEE Zancudo is a very good knife. Like I said, it's not quite a home run. That pocket clip takes it out. The AUS-8 steel makes it not quite a home run, but it is a triple. So if you're in the market for a knife this size, it's a good one, especially if you're trying to learn how to sharpen knives. Anyhow, guys, I really appreciate you stopping by. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. And you guys have a wonderful day, and I'll see you next time.